Hi, this is Jeff with SabeSoft, and in this video we'll be talking about the Sabe user interface. One of the important things to remember about the Sabe user interface is that it's completely web-based. So I'm running Chrome on a Mac with the HTTP2 extension, which will show me when I'm running HTTP2, and I've disabled pop-ups for all sabesoft.com domains. So to enter Sabe, I'll just click Use Sabe from our website, and I will be using one of our sample databases for this demonstration. This is the main Sabe window. We have a menu along the top, just like a desktop application. This particular menu has all of the functions that Sabe has. However, we can customize this, and typically we remove quite a bit of the functionality for a user so that they only see the menu items that they would use on a day-to-day basis. We have a number of tabs: the Action tab, which we'll come back to, Assignments, To-Dos, Messages, and Console. So if I come over to Assignments, this is where I'll see all of the project tasks, maintenance order steps and operations, and work order operations to which I'm assigned. So from here I can start work, I can end work, and I can post hours to each of my assignments. The To-Dos tab contains all of my to-dos, and typically a to-do would be a reminder for you to touch a customer or edit an item or launch a work order. So this falls underneath Sabe's workflow mechanism. Messages are for internal and external messages from and to Sabe and other Sabe users. So these can be secure messages from users within your instance. They can be messages from users using other instances of Sabe if you allow external messaging. And in this case, you can see I've received a message from Sabe indicating that a new item has been created. The console shows internal messages from Sabe during long-lasting jobs. So for example, if you were to create replenishment orders or do an update costing, while that job is running, Sabe will be indicating the progress of the job in the console. So now back to actions. In Sabe, every action that a user can take is a verb. When we translate that verb to the user's language, we call that an action. So over here in my favorites, you can see that I have class codes and product categories as favorite actions. If I were to run a different screen, so for example, if I went to master information and took a look at units of measure, that opens the unit of measure screen, but it also lists that action as a recent action. I can grab that action and promote it to a favorite. These actions are the most recent actions. They're sorted in chronological order, but when you log out of Sabe, this list is lost. These are your favorite actions. These are actions that you do day by day. So I can simply double-click on class codes and the class code screen will open. Additionally, I can assign a hotkey to an action. So if I run the verb hotkey, I can select the hotkey and I can select the verb that I want to run, which is class codes. And now that hotkey F1 is assigned to class codes, and if I hit the F1 key from the main window or from any window in Sabe, class codes will open. So back to the command line. As I mentioned previously, every action in Sabe is a verb, and you saw me run hotkeys. I can also run class codes directly from the command line. I can also get back to that command line in the main window by pressing escape in any Sabe window. So from here I can type, for example, product categories and get the product categories. If I press and hold Alt and hit escape, I close the current window and go back to the command line in the Sabe main window. The command line is very powerful because not only can I run verbs, but I can run shortcuts such as the work order workbench, and I can look up items quickly. Going back to the class code screen, you see a print button. If I click this print button, Sabe will ask which printer that I want to print this report to. Every Sabe instance has the ability to print to a PDF. If you are running on Presence on your server, you can set up all your network printers as Sabe printers. If you're using Sabe on the cloud, you can configure Sabe to print to your CUPS printer queues or your Google Print printers. So I'm going to select the PDF printer, and in a separate tab, we'll see the PDF for that report printed. From here, you can save it or print it to one of your local printers. Close it. So from here, I'll do an Alt-Escape to get back to the Sabe main window and close the class codes window. Sabe makes extensive use of context-sensitive right mouse clicks. So if I do a function F1, I'll get back to the class code windows. If I right mouse click on this class code, I can take a look at the items assigned to this class code. Also, if I press Alt right mouse click, I'll get the same menu, but when I select items, the class code window closes and the items window opens. And then again, Alt Escape to go back to the main window. So let's talk about persistence. If I use the command line to run the work order workbench, you can see that I can select which types of work orders to display. If I were a production manager, I may not be interested in open and exploded work orders and only be interested in release and in process work orders. Without persistence, every time I open this window, I would have to deselect open and exploded work orders. But if I Alt-Escape to close this window and then run it again, you can see that those filters have persisted. The state of those filters have persisted. So if I turn them back on and Alt-Escape and run it again, they've stayed on. So again, Alt-Escape to get back to the main window, and that is Sabe from 50,000 feet. We'll be posting new videos that talk about the command line interface, Sabe messaging, and the Sabe workflow in the near future. With any questions, contact SabeSoft. Bye.